Welcome to my garden. I'm Tony Fulmer. I'm Chalet's Chief Horticulture Officer. For those of you that have been shopping with us for a long time, you've probably seen me for a long time because I've been there for 33 years now. So I'm really honored that someone thought that my garden was special enough that you might be interested in seeing it. So I'm more than happy to share it with you this morning. It's called Beach House, and that's B-E-E-C-H, because that's one of my passions. And so I have 17 different kinds of European beaches here. So I promise I won't bore you to death by showing you, pointing each one of those out as we do the walkthrough, but just know that they're there. This is Margie. Every time someone comes, the first thing that they comment before they even get in the house is, where did you get the pig and why did you have the pig? Because it reminds me of a great time in my life, and it makes me smile even now, 8 or 9 years after I've had it. So let's go around here. This is the south side of my garage, and this is the only place that I really have good sun all day long. And so the overriding concern here is I want to have peonies, and I want to have dahlias. And unfortunately, we're a little bit early, and the dahlias are about another 3 or 4 weeks away from first bloom. So I just got a lot of little annuals in here as fill. This is a woodland tobacco. It came out and has these amazing white flowers that shoot out like fireworks. So what Chalet does for me is they come in and edge the beds, organic lawn treatments, blow out whatever leaves have accumulated, and then put down 17 yards of leaf mulch. This is the backyard now. So this is 242 feet from one end to the other. This is an east exposure, but I do have a lot of mature oaks, both on my property and the neighbor's property. So there's a lot of dappled sun. So I'm able to do sun plants, but I'm kind of close to needing some good shade plants. So this is kind of the woodland garden right here. And as you can see, I don't like to use stone. Otherwise, if I didn't have this, all of the mulch and the soil would be running off into the creek. This is one of the panicle hydrangeas. This is Bobo, and I like it enough that I have this grouping of 3 and I have another grouping of 3. This plant is a flower machine, and this gets 5 to 6 hours of sun a day, and you literally get hundreds and hundreds of flowers per plant. And in just a few weeks, after these are this pure white, then they'll start getting this really, really soft pink at the bottom. In a continuing effort to keep Tony off the streets and to keep him amused, I try and find interesting ways to prune things. So I was looking at this garage wall here. I look at this from my kitchen window. So I had this oversized double garage, and I looked out onto this bare brick wall, and I didn't really like what I saw. So I got a small 5-gallon Sergeant crabapple a number of years ago and started pruning it into this very, very loosely structured espalier. And so I never use training wires on it. So I do get the little pink flowers that open up, pink buds that open up to white. And then typically within a month after it blooms, I want to get in and do the pruning, because then otherwise, if I prune it later in the season than that, then I'm taking off the flowers for next year. This is Mandevilla. All of these containers I love to feed. You know, you're in an artificial mix here that doesn't have a lot of innate natural nutrients in it, so you've got to feed. And if you're going to be one of those people that isn't going to have the time to feed on a regular basis, you need to use something like Osmocote, which is a time-release fertilizer. And I personally just forget about what they say on the label. And when I'm potting, I just put this in the bottom of the hole, then I finish my potting, and then I do it liberally over the top. And then this gives you 4 months of feeding. And this I have to talk about. This is my favorite tree in the entire world. Everywhere I live, I have to have a paperbark maple. And to me, this is a plant that does it 365 days of the year. You have this beautiful dark green leaf. You have amazing scarlet orange fall color, but look at this bark. It looks like someone's taken a hot glue gun and thrown this beautiful rust-colored bark all over this tree, and it just peels back naturally. So I planted this the day after we moved in 33 years ago, and it's grown to this size. And I know it looks like I've got it in bondage here and it's not as happy as it should be, but I wanted this where I could see it every day when I had breakfast, and when the morning sun comes through this backlighting, it looks like the tree is on fire. This is a weeping green European beech, and when Sergio and his crew put this in, this was a 3-inch diameter tree, 3-inch trunk diameter, and it was about 9 feet tall. And so now it has grown into this, and in the winter I have this wonderful sculptural fountain to look at. And then here are the daylilies. They're just about 3 or 4 days past the peak. So every morning I come out with my little bucket and I do the deadheading from yesterday, because indeed they truly do only last for 1 day. Every garden has something to teach, whether it's a new plant, whether it's a planting combination, or whether it's something you learned that you shouldn't do. Gardening is not about perfection as much as I would like for it to be. It's evolving, it changes every year. I really appreciate you taking the time and allowing me to share my garden with you today. Hope you enjoyed it.